The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Here's the meat of it. A search for records was conducted at the Honolulu Control Facility and the Maui Airport Traffic Control Tower on April 18, 2014. Now notice these dates here. The search was conducted on April 18, 2014. It took it took 45 days, roughly, before they responded back. They're attempting to wind the clock down here, folks. This is what's going on. The search revealed records responsive to items 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 11, 14, and 15B of your request as described below, and included on the enclosed digital versatile disk. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this, but it denotes what was included. So what Buttigieg Zillion had done was taken the disks, the actual disks with the audio files on them, and gone through them, listened to them directly. The FAA tapes were found, folks, edited. Surprised? There are actually 3 or 4.
Did you expect something different?
No. But look, you know, isn't this something? We ask for a certificate of live birth. We get a PDF copy of the certificate of live birth. That's just that's an obvious forgery. We ask for and paid for, folks. That's the difference here. We paid for the FAA disk. And what we got was the FAA tapes that appeared to be edited. Buttigieg Zillion found 3 or 4, well, let's see here. There were 6 tapes with regard to one sector. Now, there are multiple sectors, but the key here is these R3. This tape appears to include the emergency frequency for aircraft on which ELTs transmit the 121.5. Anyway, bottom line here, there were sounds that made it extremely difficult to hear clearly during many of the transmissions. And a lot of it sounds pretty much like electronic, just electronic noise, static. There was a female voice who identified herself as her aircraft as Hawaiian 2 Heavy. At 3:22 local time, they were picking up the emergency locator transponder signal. Well, now, that's a problem for FAA. That's a problem for a whole lot of reasons because the accident hadn't happened yet. The accident hadn't happened for another 4 minutes. So it seems interesting that the activation of the emergency transponder would go off 4 minutes before the accident. And for those people who know, I mean, 4 minutes, it's a long time. The other thing, there was a military operation that was taking place off the coast of Hawaii at the same time, which does substantiate the allegations, or I don't want to say allegations, it does substantiate the possibility that there were military-style men, equipment in the water, personnel in the water. And then we have something else that's pretty interesting. And then I'm going to leave it go. Because we have a lot more, folks. Okay, here we are. Yeah, I mean, folks, you've got no idea. We've got so much documentation here.
Right,
and we are going to
a way to present what is relevant in all that. garbled information we have. I mean, it's a lot of work to go through these.
Yeah, I had told Butter Zoe, I don't know how I really don't know how she did it, because I mean, my eyes were cross-eyed, I was ready to gouge my eyeballs out, looking at all of this information. But the biggest lie, the biggest cover-up by government officials responding to the request of the FOIA request would probably be the FAA's claim that records required to be in the accident package, the package that was sent to us, and the package that is supposed to be maintained, they were destroyed less than 28 days after the crash. Gee, they went the way with Lois Lerner's emails. They went the way of Lois Lerner's emails. They were destroyed. The other thing, and I'll end with this, and there's much more. The medical examiner that reportedly did the autopsy on Loretta Fuddy couldn't have done it. Could not have done it. Why? Well, she wasn't there. You see, the pronouncement of death was on the 11th. The autopsy was scheduled for the 13th. There's no airfare charged. There's no mileage. There's no expenses charged for an autopsy at all. None, zero, nothing. She's the only forensic pathologist there. She had to do it. Folks, we were being lied to in a big way. This one, and I don't know if anyone else is looking into this. I really don't. But why is this important? Because Loretta Fuddy is the key person. She is the key gatekeeper of the secrets of Obama. And part of this, there are ties to the Subud organization, S-U-B-U-D, of which Loretta Fuddy was a ranking member. Subud is a religious / well, the few people can actually describe what it is. It's kind of a secret club that tends to be an amalgamation of religions. However, it does have ties not only to Hollywood, but to to a lot of the socialist, progressive Marxist. It's an incredible organization of which probably only a handful of people really are heavily involved and know the secret handshake, the secret code, and Loretta Fuddy was one of them. And it's tied to the CIA as well. That's where we're at with this. I mean, I could do an outline, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to tip our hand, folks, but I wanted to give you people, every one of you, our listeners, an update as to where we were with this, because, you had so kindly supported us when we asked you to. Hundreds of you came out and said, this is what we're going to, here's my $1, here's my $2, here's my 10, 20, 40, whatever it was. You had so kindly supported us. We have now paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500, I believe it is, maybe $1,400 in total to various government agencies for the work that they've already done. We expect probably to have to double that figure. Thanks to your efforts, we've got it covered, and we expect to be pretty much flush by the time this is all said and done. It's amazing how God works in that way. It really is. It's amazing how God works that way. But we hope to have Butter Dezillion on next week, and all of the documentation will be, right now we're converting it. I'm converting some of it in the PDF format, and we'll be publishing it on our website, HomelandSecurityUS.com. In the meanwhile, I would urge everyone, if you want to get to get an idea of the real intricate details, go to Butterde Zillion, Butterde Zillion, like a million, trillion, zillion, but Zillion, Butterde Zillion, her website. Just do a search on it, and you'll find her WordPress blog there, and you can read about Loretta Fuddy. But I wanted to give everyone an update on this. It is critical. It is a weak link in the chain. And the one more thing before I turn it to Joe, and I mentioned this yesterday, but not to the degree I want to mention it today, and just very incisively. I spoke with a person, and I'm in communications with a person who has known, who's been acquainted with Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soetoro, prior to his election to the state.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that yesterday, and it reminded me of the mailman.
Right. Well, yeah, he knows the mailman, too. He knows the Tom Ayers. The information gleaned from the interview, and this is an interview in progress, I must say, leads me to suspect the unthinkable.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.